There's like live. Where's it show the live thing? I did it last night and I figured it out. Come
YouTube? It's under, you have to go under the creators, I think it's under the creator studio. So that's the big blue button. But that'll work too. And then, yeah, there you go. Ooh, that's pretty.
We're doing it like that in text, right? Kami-sama? Lowercase s?
Yep, lowercase s, that's what I'm doing.
Is it 3 hyphen player?
Yeah, I usually do. I usually actually spell out the word 3, but just because of the hyphen, 3 dash, like the number 3 dash player always looks weird to me. That's my personal.
We got a lot of hyphens going on here.
Yeah.
That's okay, we'll do it like that.
That works.
Source equal live stream 3 player. Okay. Entertainment. Right now it's private. Just keep it simple like that. I'll just flip it over from private to not private when we're ready. But it's recording.
That's good.
I guess there's my mouse, so that's kind of weird. But, oh well. Nobody's really going to be able to see that.
Yeah.
Alright, you guys are all ready?
Everything.
You got your stuff in the right places? Here's my
I did not.
This is score tracking you.
Yeah. Purple. You know, toss those in the, don't need those over there. And I haven't selected goals because I figured we do that on camera as part of,
Cool.
You know, we've got everything set up. Let's choose our goals. We'll grab 2 random of these and then one of these are ones, and then the rest of them we'll toss back over, or at least off camera somewhere.
So then if I go over to live, manage, questions, German pack, what happens if they're not supporters? We're confident we'll get there, but we will give you a refund, or you
I've
can
been
change your pledge
telling
to
everybody
English.
we're confident we'll make it, but if we fail to, you'll have the option to take an English game or we'll refund your pledge, your choice.
So whenever this goes live, my guess is I'll be able to just see it here because it'll be running. Alright, and you want to do an Instagram story really quick? We're about to go live on YouTube and on Kickstarter. Be sure to tune in.
Kickstarter. Alright, where's my Kickstarter live?
I feel bad. Katie's copy's so beat up already. I'm going to send her a new copy. It's just way she has one right away.
Oh, we got her.
This is her copy.
Oh, this is her copy?
I don't have Man vs. Meeple's copy yet.
Ah.
Which...
I want to take this from an angle that doesn't show your kitchen. I think you'd appreciate that.
Got it partially clean. Don't judge me.
We're good. I don't judge. You've seen my house.
Mm-hmm.
I have no room to judge. My living room's a warehouse of boxes.
Yeah, at least it's clean.
Oh, good. The boxes are hiding the filth.
Yay, it worked.
You're doing the live stream on Kickstarter, and are you doing a Facebook Live as well, or just Kickstarter and YouTube?
Yeah, Facebook.
Facebook doesn't do the...
It's going to let us connect directly to Facebook
Oh, it will
from
let us.
there. Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
I'm not blocking the space I want to be blocking it. There we go. Yeah. Alright, that means it needs something blocking it when I'm not there anymore. something, even just something ever so slightly. Vern's gonna come over here and start breaking up and shit. I just know it, but that's okay. I'll just do it like that. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Chair's there anyway. What are you doing, dude? It's like,
It's like whatever the fuck I want.
I hate doing this shit. Alright. I need to make sure my volume
What up,
is
Siren?
not on here.
What up, sirens? How about you people refrain from shooting each other for a couple
New
of hours?
neighbors have a yappy dog
Oh,
in
that's
advance.
fun.
Sort of be really. Make sure you're on zeros. Yeah, that's a good, important thing to
Just
remember.
me, that sounds like that stop, like right next door.
Probably right outside.
Sound like it does in the movies when
We're
the
on a
cop
main
car
road.
crashes and the siren goes boo, like Blues Brothers. They're all piling up. Here they are, crash, crash, crash. Okay, well, right as we're about to go live, some shit's going down.
Yeah, I don't even know what to do about that, man.
Just be like, don't mind what's going on in the background, folks. Someone might be dying. Someone might be dying, but there are games to be played.
Thank you for joining us during possibly the apocalypse. We're not sure.
Like, people might be dying, there are games to be played. Hashtag.
I'm gonna.
priorities.
We're gonna introduce everybody,
Okay.
and then you guys.
Kevin's got
you'll
to
have to.
Kevin's
hop
got to lean in.
So I'll get it started. I'll come around. We'll talk for a minute. Mark, you'll do your setup,
My spiel.
your spiel. I'm gonna let you run the show because I'm not feeling it today. I'm not gonna lie. I'm anxious as hell. Why are there white cubes
Because I use white. What?
on the
Oh.
sport track?
No, that's I'm used to when I set like the extra cubes you get at the beginning of year 2 and year 3. I saw Rado do it in his video, and I'm like, that's a cool idea. So I've been doing it when I set like setting the extra cubes there, so that when you move this, you grab the cubes off of there. But
If we
Of
should
course
all
I
do it,
would,
let's
no.
do it. But that'd be weird and confusing, and people would start
Exactly.
asking us questions.
exactly.
Alright.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Alright, I'm going live.
2 goes away.
Are
2
you ready?
cubes goes away. Yeah.
You just tell me when I'll handle tilting it down.
Please go on my hair first. Okay, go on there.
All of my cubes. Oh, I missed one.
There we go.
There's a lot of pages there in that list.
There used to be more. We're live, by the way.
Awesome.
If you want to start talking, what people understand why I'm weirdly in front of the camera.
Hey everybody, we're live, obviously. I'll wave with this hand so it's on camera. That was Kevin's hand. We'll get his face in here in a bit. We're setting up to stream on Facebook Live, so if you see Kira really close to the camera or her hand in your face, don't worry. We're going to set up so we can stream not only here on Kickstarter, but we're going to stream on Facebook Live as well as YouTube. So we'll have a couple of different angles and be able to take questions in all of these different places. So hopefully it's not too distracting, but we're going to get set up. The game, we've already got set up on the table. We got a couple things to finish up with setup, but we'll do that once we're settled in here. Obviously, feel free to pop questions into the chat. You can use the Q&A tab. We can jump over there at the end of the live stream as well if you want to make sure things don't get missed. We can get that picked up as well. So it looks like we are on Kickstarter. It looks like Facebook Live is running, and YouTube looks like it's going as well. So hey everybody, it's Mark here with Kolossal. Kira's here with me, and Kevin is there. He is, Kevin. We're going to be doing a 3-player playthrough of Kami-sama. We're going to obviously angle the camera down so you can see the board in a bit, but I want to get through a little bit of introduction, let you know what we're doing. We're going to do a 3-player setup so you can kind of see how that plays with the little bit of a variant. Obviously, a 4-player game is pretty straightforward. There are 4 quadrants of the board. Everybody gets one, but a 3-player works a little different, so we thought it'd be a good idea to show what that looks like, how it works, and give you an idea there. Again, drop questions in the chat. We'll try to keep an eye on it as we're playing. If you've got a really important question, make sure you drop it in the Q&A tab. If you're on Kickstarter Live, then we'll jump over to that tab at the end and make sure we didn't miss anything. So, but yeah, Mark, Kira, Kevin, we're going to dive in here. And we'll give a heads up to who you want to let people know who you're playing as
Sure.
while we're
So
on
yeah,
camera.
before we do that too, just as a quick note, we'll be doing our best to keep up with questions. We're going to be answering them as we see them on the screen as best that we can. If you are watching on Facebook, we will not be. We are only going to be monitoring on Kickstarter, so we'll encourage you if you have questions to come over there, or we'll answer your questions after the live stream. Same for YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, you've got an up close of the board because you're on a different camera, but just know that we are getting started. So as far as my character, I'm playing as Corey, the Kami of Fear. She is super cool. One of my favorite characters to play with. At the start of the game, I'm going to start with a fear token, which is this little guy here. And for those of you on YouTube, it's right here. But I'll be trying to gain and spend fear throughout the game by using my my different abilities. My passive ability is just that I have the fear track to work with. So I can add a shrine in my current village and gain fear, or I can spend fear to add a shrine in any village. I can move an opponent shrine adjacent to one of my shrines to another village and gain a fear, or spend 2 to remove a shrine in any village. And then my 2-cost ability is to replace an opponent's shrine in any village and gain a fear, or I can spend all 4 of my fear if I've gained 4 fear and replace 2 shrines in any single village, which can be super useful if you time it correctly.
Absolutely. I'm going to be playing Shize. She is our wind spirit. She's going to be blowing shrines all over the board today. Shize's passive ability, or my passive ability, is that the first time I remove a shrine in any village, I can move a shrine in my current village to another village. So I remove someone and then I can move another. I have 3 abilities that belong only to me, of course. My gust ability allows me to remove a shrine located in a field or forest in any village, so I can wreak some havoc across the board, not just in my current village. My winds of change, I can move 1 shrine in my current village to another village, and if I can complete a goal in that way, then I can gain any village token instead of the corresponding village. So that kind of helps me with the set collection aspect. And then I have a tornado ability. I choose 3 adjacent shrines in my current village, rearrange them in any order, and if I complete a goal that way, then I can gain any village token as well. So she has a little bit of extra abilities that help with the set collection aspect of things, and that is who I will be featuring.
Apparently
today.
scared somebody.
No.
Sorry about that. When I started talking earlier, just saw your comment. We're looking at those now.
Nice.
And now Kevin's going to introduce his character.
I will be playing as Mizuchi, the Kami of the River. Show the other camera if it shows that too. And her base ability is you may use the basic add or remove shrine ability on a stilt house in any village. Her Wellspring ability, I get to choose 2, add a shrine to a field, forest, or stilt house in your current village. Torrent, replace an opponent's shrine in a stilt house in any village. That opponent may add a shrine in that village. And her ultimate ability, Flood, add a shrine to a stilt house in any village, remove a shrine adjacent to that shrine. So obviously she works around these stilt houses.
Very cool.
Awesome. Sounds good. So I think we've got everything set up there. The only thing we need to do is we've got the board set up with the villager cards on. We got everything set up. What we need to do is we need to get our goals for the first for not only the first year but for the other 2 as well. So we'll set those up. So as we're moving the camera down, we have a whole stack of goal cards here. And what I'll be doing here is we're going to grab a couple of these just at random from the deck so that we don't know what we're getting into. So we'll grab a couple goal cards. The rest of these will get removed from the game. So I'll hand those over there. And then we need to select a goal for year 1. So we're going to grab...
More towards the mark.
We have 4 year 1 goals.
Perfect.
That are designed around essentially only doing 3 shrines in a pattern. So we don't have anything that's 4 or 5 spaces. So we'll grab that. The rest of the cards will be removed from the game as well. So we now have our 3 goals set up for the game. And we will dive in here. So first, reveal the first year goal. In our first year, the goal is to control 2 stilt houses and 1 hut, or 2 huts and 1 stilt house. So it's an interesting goal. When we're down here at the huts in the yellow roof structures, the stilt houses are the gray roof structures in each village. So we're going to want to control either 2 huts and 1 stilt house, or 2 stilt houses and a hut in order to complete the goal and gain a village token. which is a little bit contradictory to wanting to be in the fields and forests to gain the favor of nature tracks to score points that way. So it's going to make for an interesting first year. Also, in a 3-player game, because I'm sitting in front of the farming village, we have the 2 advent tokens there. I've got our first player marker. This will get passed around. Every time the board rotates, it's going to move clockwise with the board. Essentially, we'll always sit in front of one player, and then it's going to rotate that way. So that's really the main difference in the 3-player game, and you'll see how that works as we go along. And I believe we can just dive in here, and I'm just going to, with Shize, the board's open. Usually in the first year, the way I personally do it is I usually will use my 3 action cubes for my first turn to complete whatever goal there happens to be. So in this case, I'm just going to take 2 stilt houses and a hut, which is going to allow me to gain the village token for the farming village that I'm in. And let's place that in my player area. Village tokens are worth 1 point at the end of the game, and if I happen to get a full set of 4, then I can immediately cash them in for 6 points. So I get some bonus points for collecting a full set. So I'm going to hang on to that village token there. That will have that in, and it will now be Kira's turn.
All right. Let's see here. Sorry about that. I just moved my chair. All right. So, I am in this village. I'm going to go ahead and use my first action to add a shrine in my current village, because I get a fear for that, which is pretty straightforward. And I think I want to go for the gold this first time around. That makes the most sense to me. So I'll go ahead and place one in a hut. And then I'm always so unsure of what I want to do next. I'm just going to go ahead and add and just keep it simple to start the game. And that is the completion of my turn, and I'll get my goal.
Village token.
My village token for my goal.
All right, and we're over to Kevin.
Well, it seems to be the thing to do, so I'm going to use my 3 actions to do the same. And put shrines here, here, and here to have 2 huts and a stilt house, completing the goal for me.
And we'll give you the holy
And I
village
get the
token.
holy token.
And you'll notice nobody played in the fishing
Holy
village on the far end of the board. Again, because it's a 3-player game, one of the villages will not be played each round, but we will still take our full 4 turns. So with Kevin, it comes back to me. I've already taken my turn, so at this point the board's going to rotate. If you would be so kind as to rotate the board for us, Kevin.
Going to...
Clockwise.
sorry.
And
We're
along
all
with
looking
that,
at the
I'm looking
camera
at
as
the
we're
camera,
getting
yep.
ourselves confused.
and, then,
Okay.
and the first player marker is going to pass over to Kira as well as the board rotates, so she's going to be the first player for this turn.
Okay, cool. I like that. Let's do that. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and do that all over again. Oh, wait. No, somebody's in there, so I'll have to do something different. So I'm going to go ahead and start by placing a shrine and gaining a fear in a hut. And then I'm going to go ahead and move an opponent's shrine adjacent to one of my shrines to another village to gain another fear.
Ooh.
And get rid of this one.
Wow.
And that would be me moving Mark over to the Holy Village. For those of you that can't see the board as well, if you're looking from far away, that's what I did. He is white, and I moved him. He was next to my guy, and I moved him out of the way. And that gained me another fear. So I'm up to 3 total fear now, which is lovely. And so I will use my last action to place in the spot that I removed Mark from, and end my turn.
All right.
So I didn't complete a goal, but I'm setting myself up for a future move.
I will be pretty much doing the same thing I did last turn. Use my 3 basic actions to add two huts and a still house, completing the goal for the fishing village.
Nicely done.
Very nice.
Halfway there.
Very nice. And I, because since Kira was so nice and put me in a hut already, I'm going to use 2 of my actions to take the 2 river houses that are open, or stilt houses that are open, which will complete my goal, giving me the Holy Village token. And I have 1 action left, and
That was a bad move by me. I should have put you in a forest or
Put
something.
me way over there where I don't. Yeah.
What I was
And then
thinking.
I am going to actually take my third action to place in a field, which grants me 2 favor on my favor track. So I'm start climbing up those tracks at the end of the round or at the end of the year. I will score on the lower of the 2. So as of now, I have 0 points despite climbing up 2 spaces. So again, we're back to Kira, who was our first player. So the board's now going to rotate another quarter turn in clockwise direction. So give this another rotation here. First player marker is going to pass over to Kevin. So obviously we'll skip the empty village, and Kevin will take his turn in the wealthy village.
And I am in danger of being a one-trick pony, but it's a good goal. And so I will use all 3 of my abilities once again and get 2 huts and a stilt house in the wealthy village, thus giving me the wealthy token.
Very nice. I am going to take my actions. I'm going to use 2 actions here to place in the 2 stilt houses that we have. And I'm actually going to use my third action. I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to use my third action, just another basic add or move, but I'm going to go in the temple in this village. Now, the temples are important spaces for terms of tiebreakers. It also gives me 1 favor or 1 nature, my choice. I'm going to take 1 nature, so I can further balance these tracks a little bit. But when we get to the end of the round, if there's a tie in this village for influence over the villagers, I get to determine the tiebreaker, as long as I'm still in the temple when it gets around to me. So we're over to Kira, taking her turn in the holy village.
All right. So, we'll gain a fear by placing a shrine, and I'm just going to go right into the temple because, frankly, there's not a lot of places for me to go to do the goal, so for now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my favor for that, and I'll gain a fear, which puts me at 4 fear. I'm pretty excited about being at 4 fear. Let's see here. Then, kind of want to replace 2 shrines. I feel like really good about doing that right now.
Wow.
So I'm going to go ahead and do that thing that I said I'm going to do. And I'm going to break up
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Kevin's little line of beautiful shrines there. Sorry, buddy. See you later.
Very nice. All right, that takes us back around to Kevin, who is our first player. So the board will rotate another quarter turn, and the first player marker will rotate with it. So the first player marker is going to come back over to me. So I will be first player here in the 4th round, as I was in the first. Now I'm looking in the wealthy village here, trying to complete a goal with 2 huts or a stilt house, 2 stilt houses or a hut. And I see that there's really not a lot of place to do that in here. So I think what I'm going to focus on instead is I'm going to place a couple of shrines. I'm going to go 1 in the forest down here at the bottom to grab 2 nature points. I'm going to add a 2nd shrine in this field to grab 2 favor points. And I'm going to use my third add to add into the temple, which will allow me to gain a favor or a nature. And I'm going to take a nature, which will completely balance those tracks for now. Didn't do anything toward the goal, but I'm setting myself up to score some points, and I'll be able to grab those tokens that I need in future turns as well as the goal changes. So it is now over to Kira to take her turn, and we'll allow her to mess up someone else's plans, I'm sure.
I'm all over it. I'm all over it. That's what I'm here for. All right. So, fishing village is where I'm at. I'm back down to 0 fear, so I need to build that back up. So I think the first thing I do is I'm going to add a shrine in my current village. We're just going to keep it simple. I'm going to go into a forest, though, because I want to get some nature. Whoops, I got those backwards. So that's going to get me 2 nature. And then I'm going to go ahead and move. Well, no, maybe I'm not going to do that. Let's just go ahead and do 1 more add. I'm going to go ahead and put myself in a field so that I can get to favor. Puts me up to 3 and 2 on that track. And then I can either choose to frighten or do another basic add. I think I want to get another fear. So I am going to frighten Mark into another village somewhere else. Let's see. Sure. I'll put him over there.
Oh.
I can't do anything right now.
Look at that.
Okay. And that does it. That ends my turn.
All right, fantastic. Over to Kevin.
Well, Kira disrupted my grand strategy. So, I am
Happy to help.
actually going to use my base ability of using the basic add or remove shrine in a stilt house in any village, and I am going to add a shrine over to that stilt house there, and then I will use my first ability, Wellspring, choose 2, add a shrine to a field, forest, or stilt house in your current village, and I will go with 1 of each, just to give myself 2 of each of favor in nature. And then my third move is, I guess I will just add to the temple.
Don't forget, when you add to a temple, you get 1 favor or 1 nature.
And
Your
I
choice.
get 1 favor or 1 nature, but
Yep. All right, so then we're back over to me with the first player card. So we're going to rotate the board a quarter turn. And then we have our 2 Advent tokens, the blue one on the board and the red one that's still on the table, lining up. That signifies the end of the year. So what we're going to do, first thing we need to do is we need to draft influence, draft villagers based on influence. We look at the first village, which is our farming village, and we see who has the longest chain of shrines, most contiguous shrines, orthogonally, not diagonal. So diagonal doesn't count for this. So looking at this village, Kira has a chain of 2 shrines next to one another. I have a chain of 2 shrines next to each other, and Kevin's just scattered all over the place. So Kira and I are tied. Now the tiebreaker on this is the person in the temple. So even though Kevin is not involved in this tie, Kevin has the power. Kevin gets to determine who is going to get first pick of the villagers. And for the villagers, we draw the top 3 cards. And these 3 cards will get passed to whoever Kevin deems worthy of first pick.
that's going to Mark first.
All
the
right.
retribution for Kira's.
All right, so I've got 3 cards here to
It's
choose
fine.
from. And for the since I have opponents at the table, I'm not going to show the cards that I have to choose from, but you will see all 3 cards because all 3 of us are in this village. We'll each get to pick one. So I am going to grab I think what I'm going to do is I am going to take the farmer. The farmer allows me to add a shrine to a field in the current village. I'll put that down there if the guys on YouTube can see it as well. So I can add a shrine to a field in my current village. And I will do that. That's going to give me the 2 favor for doing so. And I can complete a goal in that way if it had allowed me to, which I did not. Kira is in second place, so she will take the next pick. And then Kevin gets whatever happens to be left over.
I'm going to take the Ronin, which allows me to lose 1 favor to gain 2 nature, or lose 1 nature to gain 2 favor. And since I happen to have 1, sure, why not?
That hurts.
It never hurts. And then that leaves Kevin with,
I get the monk. Gain 1 nature.
Ooh, that
Pretty
actually works
straightforward,
well for
which
you.
ties me back up.
All right. So we do the exact same thing again. We draw the top 3 villagers from our wealthy village. And we look at the chains here. Now in this village, it looks like Kevin has 4 shrines that are together. Kira has 3, and then I'm going to get whatever's left over because I am scattered about.
Pretty straightforward choice. I'm going with the noble. Add a shrine to a hut in this village. You may complete a goal this way. Which, there is no hut in my current village.
Yeah, there is. This is this village.
Oh,
Yeah, 1 hut open.
1 hut open. Oh, I was looking at the wrong village.
there you go, very nice. I'm also going with the Noble. And
And Kevin just blocked you from
he
placing.
just blocked me, but that's okay because the Noble's worth 2 VP. So it's okay that I can't place a hut. I feel okay about that.
And what I thought would happen happened. I get the peasant. The peasants don't give me a claim ability of any kind, any way, shape, or form. Do I have the ability to do anything with this peasant? I hang on to him till the end of the game, and he's worth a half point at the end of the game. There are no half points in the game, so right now he's not worth anything until I pair him up with a pal.
Be nice.
Peasants are people too. They are.
They are.
They are.
And he's
And
worth.
he's adorable.
He's worth more when he's with his buddies.
He's a little old man. He's working hard.
He is. He's got. That's a lot of
Because
straw he's carrying on
friendships
his
are
back.
important. Okay.
All right. So Now we do the same thing in the fishing village. So we're over in the village that's across the table from myself. And in this village, no one has a chain of shrines. We have, everybody's kind of scattered out in that village for some reason. So everybody essentially has a chain of one. I am in the temple, so I get to decide who the tiebreaker is. And I could pick someone other than myself, but I'm not going to do so. And I am going to take the... Yes, I am going to take the guard. The guard allows me to choose an opponent and a village. And myself and that opponent are going to gain a village token of whatever village that I've chosen. And I see that I need the fishing village token. And Kevin already has the fishing village token. So Kevin, you can have another fishing village token.
Sweet. I got all the
And
fish.
then I am going to pass these cards. Since I just gave Kevin a fishing token, I'm going to pass the cards to Kira for second choice.
It's very nice of you, sir. And I'm going to go ahead and take the advisor, which gives me 3 favor.
Nice.
I'm happy about that because I sacrificed some earlier, so that puts me up to 5. And I'll give Kevin
Leaving me the peasant.
with a fabulous
Wah, wah,
and
wah,
wonderful
wah.
peasant.
And if I'd have paid attention, I would have given the cards to Kevin because the extra favor wouldn't have done him any good point-wise.
Nope.
All right, and finally we do the drafting of the villagers for the Holy Village. So we're going to take a look at chains here. We have white has a chain of 3, and then both purple and teal have a chain of 1 apiece. So white's going to get first pick again. Oh, look, that's me. And I have a decision to make here. I'm going to take the lovely, wonderful Elder. The Elder lets me gain the token for the village that I'm in this case, the Holy Village. So the Elder is going to grant me a Holy Village token. I already have a Holy Village token, but it might be nice. It's still worth a point at the end. The Elder's worth 2 points at the end of the game. And now we're looking here. We have Kira and Kevin tied. Kira is in the temple, so I'm assuming you're picking yourself?
I am picking myself.
All right.
And I get my very favorite villager, who is... This is just such a mean thing to do, but I'm doing it. So I'm taking my happy little artisan, whom I love, and she gives me 2 favor, which I don't really need right now because I'm already higher in favor, and that'll make sense when we talk about scoring. But that gives Kevin finally,
Yay.
but he's now up to a point because
These two equal
he's
1
got 2 peasants.
VP at the end of the game.
2 peasants for Kevin. All right, now we've done drafting of the villagers, so we're through that phase. The next step is to do scoring, and the way you score is you look at your favor and nature tracks, and you score the lower of the 2. I have 6 favor and 4 nature, so I, the white player, am going to score 4 points. How are your favor and nature tracks over there, Kira?
I'm at 7 and 4, so I will be at 4.
So purple is going to be at 4,
Tied at 3.
and Kevin will be at 3. So we have Mark and Kira tied at 4, and Kevin has 3. Well, we're going to move the year marker up to year 2. We're going to rotate the goals so that we have our next goal out for the year. Flip that around. The board is going to do its 1 rotation like normal, like it normally would, so that now we have a new first player to start the new round. We're also going to rotate the advent token that stays on the table, so that stays in front, and the first player marker will rotate to Kira. So now she'll be first player for round 2. Or year 2. The other thing we're going to do is we started with year 1, we all had 3 action cubes. We now get a 4th cube. So now we can spend a little bit more to activate some of our more powerful abilities for less of a cost for us. And it is year 2. We flipped up the goal. This goal is to control 1 temple and 2 fields or 2 forests. So having your cube in the temple, or the temple and 2 fields, or the temple and 2 forest spaces on the board will complete this goal and grant village tokens for year 2. And Kira is our first player and gets to...
So I'm starting off this year already with 2 fear. So that puts me feeling pretty good about things. And I have a total of 4 actions, like Mark said. So I'm going to go ahead and add a shrine in my current village to gain a fear. And I'm going to go ahead and do that in a forest to start and get myself 2 nature. And then I'm going to go ahead and add another one in a field. Just because I want...
Don't forget, you did. Kevin, don't forget to reset your favorite
Oh,
nature
sorry.
track.
Yep.
Favorite nature resets at the end of every year after you score it.
Oops, I tried to cheat there. So then I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, oh man, I don't know what I want to do. I think I'm just going to do this and place in a field and get 2 more favor. And then I'm going to move an opponent. Nope, I can't do that. But I can just go ahead and remove. I'm going to just take Kevin out of the temple.
How dare you?
For now.
Very interesting.
Just because I can. Yeah.
All right, so we're over to Kevin.
I think I am going to...
I realize that was a little bit of a wonky move, people. You don't have to judge me.
I'm going to spend 2 of my ability tokens and use my ability Flood to add a shrine. Nope, I'm sorry. I take that back. I'm not going to do that yet. I am going to use
Hi, Trisha.
Torrent,
Hi, Josh.
Torrent first and replace an opponent's shrine in a stilt house in any village, and that opponent may add a shrine to that village. So I am going to replace that one, and you may add a shrine to that current village.
Oh, no.
Thanks, Kev. I'll take. Now, do I get to
And,
complete
yes,
a
you
goal?
actually do get to complete the
Ah,
goal.
crap. I wasn't paying attention
So
to your
Kira
goals.
gains the farming village token
Oops.
because Kevin allowed her to add to the temple that she needed.
So, even
So I
though I
did.
messed up on my last turn, you helped me.
I helped
fix
you
it.
out there.
Thank you very much.
Oops. All right. Well, then I'm going to...
Nah.
You have demoralized me this game, Kira.
I'm so sorry. I'm so not sorry.
Okay, then I will use my Wellspring and choose to add a shrine to a field and a forest, getting 2 of each there, and then I need to wait. Then I will... I'm paralyzed. I can't do anything except, I guess, remove a... I'll use my basic ability to remove a shrine from a stilt house.
Oh, wow. That's nice. Thank you.
And then add a shrine to a stilt house.
Well done, sir.
And he's able to do that. Mizuchi likes the stilt houses, so she can go in and out of those stilt houses pretty much at will.
Since they're
and using
on
the basic
water.
And that was my blunder of a turn.
All right. Well, I am going to first of all use my first
was
action to remove a shrine. I'm going to remove Kira out of the temple, and
welcome
my
to those
ability
of you on
allows me.
Facebook.
First time I remove a shrine in any village, I can move a shrine in my current village to another village. And so I am actually going to move Kevin's shrine out of my village and put it over here in this hut. He doesn't get anything for it, but it takes him completely out of this village, which if he still is not in this village at the end of the round, he will not get a villager for the Holy Village, because you have to have presence in order to gain a villager. So I'm just kind of being a jerk. We're going to add a shrine to the temple, and I'm going to take 1 favor for doing that. And then I am going to... Actually, because the goal is within reach, I'm going to go ahead and do 2 adds, and add into these 2 forest spaces. It's going to give me a total of 4 nature, but I control 2 forests and the temple, so I'm going to gain the Holy Village token. I am stocking up on Holy Village tokens over here. So
Holy moly.
exactly.
All right.
And yes, board will rotate, because we're back to Kira. First player marker is going to move over to Kevin. And now Kevin gets to try and redeem himself.
Oh, yeah. Okay, then. I am going to spend 1 to remove Mark from the shrine. And then I will spend 1 to add back to the temple. I will spend another 1 to add to this forest, giving me 2 nature.
Don't forget your nature or favor for the temple as well.
Oh, yes. And then my...
Thank you, Game and Yeti. I'm actually managing to keep up with
all of the
all
tabs.
3 of the tabs.
You have. How's your anxiety with 3 tabs open?
It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Then I will use Torrent and replace an opponent's shrine in a stilt house in any village, and you may replace that.
I can replace that.
Yes.
Well, you know what? I think I am going to go over into this
Backer
field,
662, Fabio,
which is
welcome.
going to grab me to favor.
Thanks for backing the game.
So that is beautiful, and that is Kevin's turn. So now I'm going to take my 4 action cubes and see if I can complete a goal in the fishing village. I really want the wealthy village, but the beauty of it is if I'm able to complete a goal using one of my 2 bottom abilities, my ability lets me take any village token. So as long as I can complete the goal using that, I might be able to do so. Let's see. I'm already in the temple, so if I can complete the goal with fields and forests, I think I will. I'm going to remove Kira out of... No, I'm going to remove Kevin out of this field. Forest, yes. So we'll do that. And then I am going to place... and removing Kevin, since it's the first time I've removed a shrine in this village for my turn, I can move another shrine. So I'm going to move myself down into the forest, granting 2 nature. Then I am going to place a shrine in this hut, which seems odd. But now I'm going to use my Tornado ability, which is my 2-cost ability at the bottom. This allows me to choose 3 adjacent shrines that are in my current village. I can rearrange them in any order that I see fit, and if I complete a goal in this way, I will gain any village token instead of the corresponding village, or I have the option to. So I want to rearrange these 3 shrines. So I've got Kevin, Kira, and myself, and I'm going to rearrange these 3 shrines so that I end up in this forest. We're going to put Kevin up here next to Kira's shrine here so that I'm not creating a chain for Kira. And doing so gives me the temple and 2 forests, and I can choose to take any token I wish. I'm going to take the wealthy village token because it's the one I don't have. Now that I have a set of 4, I will cash those in for an immediate 6 points, taking me to 10 on the scoreboard. So just an example of how Shize can manipulate the board in a few moves using her abilities. And again, only Shize can do what I just did because of the in the asymmetrical, that's what I was looking for, the asymmetrical powers that she has. These are only her abilities. So we're over to Kira.
I've realized
Kira Rore.
the error of my ways. Andrew Backer 663, thanks for backing the game. I love seeing that pop up. Last time we only had 1 computer that we did a live stream for Western Legends, and we couldn't see all the great stuff popping up on the screen, so we changed that this time, which is why you can kind of see a mouse in the screen over here. But what I'm also noticing is that I'm not paying as much attention to what you guys are doing. And so that could hurt me long term, but we'll do our best because I feel very good that my eerie presence will keep me safe. So, because I'm starting this turn with 4 fear.
Ooh, that's
I
a
need
little
to complete
scary.
a goal. So,
Good luck.
I'm going to go ahead and spend all 4 of my fear. All at once, right at the beginning of the turn, to replace 2 shrines in any village. Any village.
Any village.
So it doesn't have to be my current village. But I'm going to make it my current village because I want that temple. There you go, Mark.
I know one of my other ones is getting replaced as well.
Mainly because I just want to mess up this pattern that's happening here. I'm going to replace that one. Okay.
All right.
So that starts that out.
And don't forget to take your favor in nature.
Actually, I take that back. I'll let you keep that one.
Oh, I see what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you're doing.
You
want the forest.
I also want to break up your chain.
There you go.
So I'll take my two
nature
nature instead.
And then you get 1 favor or nature for the temple.
And that makes me tied for 5 and 5, if anybody wants to know where I'm at. And then I'm going to go ahead and move an opponent's shrine with Frighten and gain a fear that is next to one of mine to another village. And I'll move that over here to this hut. And then I'm going to add a shrine in my current village using Manifest to gain a fear and put it in the forest and gain 2 nature and my
And your
gold
Holy
token
Village
for
token.
the Holy Village. Thank you.
2 forests and a temple.
And that was one heck of a turn, y'all.
Well played. Kevin.
I was first player.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
We are back to Kevin. So now first player is going to rotate. The board is going to rotate. And now I get to play in the Wealthy Village. And let's see here. Take my cubes back. I am going to simply use my remove ability to pop Kevin out of this temple.
Boo.
And that allows me to, again, with my Western Wind passive ability, the first time I remove a shrine, which I just did, I can move a shrine in my current village. But I don't think I'm going to do that because I don't want to move out of that village right now. So I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use my... That'll work. We're going to add to the field, giving me 2 favor. So now I'm at 5 and 6. I'm going to add to the temple, and I'm going to take a favor to that, which is going to even my tracks at 6 each. That also gives me the temple and 2 field spaces, which completes the goal and gives me the Wealthy Village token. And I have 1 action left, and for my 1 action, I am looking around here to see.
Thanks, Brian, and thanks, Yeti. You guys appreciate all the comments on Facebook.
I am going to use my Gust ability to remove a shrine in a field or forest in any village. And I am going to go way over here to this Holy Village, and I'm going to pop Kira out of this forest and break up her chain. And that will be my turn, and it is now Kira's turn.
It is now my turn. Okay, so I am in the fishing village. I'm really glad that it's not glaring in the camera, but it is glaring in here for me a little bit. We're in the fishing village. Okay, so all the places I want to be aren't open, so we need to do something about that. So I'm going to go ahead and start by moving an opponent's shrine adjacent to one of my shrines. I think. No, I'm not going to do that. Ooh, this is tough. It's a tough, eh?
Yeah, this is a tough situation.
All right. I could use my 2-cost ability and use my first part of my ability, and I think I'll do that. And I'm going to replace an opponent's shrine in any village. And I'm going to do that in a village. No, I really do. I want to do it in this one. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here in the temple. There you go, Mark.
All right.
I'll take my
Thank you
favor.
for my shrine back.
And then I'm going to... Oh man, tough. This is tough cookie stuff. All right. Because I could... If I move you, I have to move you somewhere else, and spots are filling up, so I'm not sure I really want to use my Frighten ability right now. I think I'm just going to go ahead and hold off for now, and I'm just going to add 2 shrines to take up the remaining 2 locations here, and at least put myself in a tying position for 2 in a row with Kevin, but I've got the tiebreaker as long as nobody messes with me. So that's my turn.
All right, we're over to Kevin for his turn.
My turn's going to be pretty short and sweet. Working in the farming village, I will spend my first action and remove Mark out of the field.
Oh, hey, look at that.
Take my second action and replace that field.
I'll give you your 2 favor.
My up 2 favor, yes. My third action, take Kira out of that temple. My fourth action, put me in that temple. Field, temple. Farming token.
Village. Oh no!
All 4 tokens. Immediately 6 points.
And Kevin is now up to
End
9.
turn.
And I'm having a
And don't
major
forget, you
token
get
in
1
me.
favor or 1
And I
nature for the
get
temple.
1 favor and nature.
All right, we're back over to me. I was the first player, so we're going to rotate the board again, along with the first player marker. First player's going to move back over to Kira like it was at the start of the round, and this will be the final set of turns for the second year of the game.
Man, There's a lot of annoying stuff happening in this village right now. It's making me very sad, but it shouldn't be too hard to fix. And I will start by frightening Kevin out of this lovely little forest.
You taking my dots.
Get you on out of there. Now that puts me up at 4 fear. So I'm pretty excited about that because I'm going to torment Mark by replacing
replaced. Wow.
2 of his.
Deadly.
And that's going to give me 2 nature, 1 favor. And then I'm going to add a shrine in my current village to this other forest, and giving myself 2 more nature, and giving myself a village token. I'm giving myself a fear for that, and that is ending my lovely little turn.
Well.
I was going to go back to the fishing village because I needed that and remove the 2 there. But it was more fun to torment you over here.
Of course it was. And you never know what comes out of the villager deck. There are villagers that let you exchange village tokens, so even though you've got 2 wealthy, you may be able to exchange it for a fishing village token. So.
You never know what's going to happen. I have a lot of nature, though. Not enough favor. I need to balance that out somehow. I'm kind of out of time, so I'm going to have to hope for villagers to help me there. At least I'm in a position to get the villagers that I'd like to have on my side.
I'm looking at these villages and I don't like
And
the
for
way they're
those of
shaking
you-
out for me because I've got a chain of, well, I guess I've got chain of 2 over there, but
I'm purple, in case you needed a reminder when you're looking at the board. I think it's pretty clear that other than in,
it's got you there.
well, you're right.
But you've got pretty much everywhere else.
But I've got some authority in each of the villages, except for the farming village where Kevin is currently dominating. But I still get 2nd place. So I get 2nd place in the villages where I'm not totally in control.
My turn then?
Yeah.
All right.
So come in and screw it all up for me, buddy.
Well, I think I want to start off by flooding the holy village.
Oh.
Add a shrine to a stilled house in any village, even though it's my current village, but I get to remove a shrine adjacent to that shrine. So, Kira, have your shrine back.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, not thank you.
Then next, I will just use my basic ability to add 1 there, giving me a 3 chain. Now I own that place.
Wow.
And then I will use my torrent ability and replace an opponent's shrine in a stilt house in any village, and that opponent may add a shrine to that village. And I want that one. Kira, there is no room to add,
So you just,
get your shrine back, and mwahaha.
All right. So we are
Glad they
back
can't
over
see that I'm
to
wanting to throw stuff at you
Shize,
on
the
camera.
wind spirit, and what I am going to do here. This is interesting because I see in this village I'm not going to be able to complete the goal more than likely because I need the temple. Well, actually, I might actually be able to do that. I'm going to use my Western Wind to remove a shrine, or my basic ability to remove a shrine, and I'm going to remove Kevin out of this field. And I get to move a shrine in my current village to another village, so I am going to move, let's see, what other one do I want to get out of here? I'm going to move Kevin out of this field. And we're going to move it to another village, and I'm going to put it here for you, Kevin.
Sweet.
Which you will get your 2 nature for that.
I do.
Yep. So that was my first action, removing 1 shrine and blowing the other one away from me. I am then going to use my... Let's see, how do I want to do this? I am going to use... I kind of set myself up here. Let's add to this field. That's going to grant me 2 favor. I want to go...
To there.
Yeah. I didn't count my number of cubes. Had this been year 3, I'd have been awesome because I would have had an extra cube. Because I really want to use my tornado, but it would cost both of my
Say hi to Coco.
cubes, and that doesn't do me
Hi,
any good.
baby.
Kevin,
Coco's
Kevin's
online.
wife just joined us for a moment.
All right.
Bye, Coco.
So then I will, since I moved Kevin out of the other field, I will add to that field 3 of my shrine. It's going to give me another 2 favors. I'm climbing up that track a little quicker than I'd like. And then I
Hello,
think
Hervé.
what I will do is Hervé.
Hervé's on.
Hervé's on.
Hi.
Awesome. Hervé is awesome. Hervé is the designer of our first game, Western Legends, so it's awesome to have you online checking out the second one, Hervé.
For those of you who haven't, the pre-orders are open over on Pledge Manager, so
yes,
if you need an invite and can't find it, you just let us know, but it should be on the Kickstarter page. There's a direct link for you guys.
and I am going to simply, since I see I'm not going to be able to complete because I don't have an ability to let me replace this shrine, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use Winds of Change. Winds of Change allows me to move one of my shrines in my current village to another village, and I'm going to move this shrine over here to this forest, which is just going to grant me 2 nature and essentially give me 2 extra victory points at the end of the round. And that will be the end of my turn. We're going to rotate the board one more time. It's going to line up those Advent tokens and signify the end of the year. So we move on to drafting villagers for the end of the second year. So we're going to draw 3 villager cards again, starting in our farming village. In our farming village, we have a chain of 3 purple cubes, so that's going to be Kira. And then Kevin and I don't have a chain, but Kevin is in the temple, so I'm probably going to get a peasant.
I have a really tough decision to make here.
I think it's awesome Game and Yeti's joining us on Facebook. I talk to him a lot on Facebook.
He's super great, yeah.
Yeah,
So
super supportive.
I have a couple here that are going to give me favor nature in my hand to give everybody kind of heads up of the decision I have ahead. So one of the things that you might find yourself in a situation of when you're playing this game, if I am to just to reveal a little extra information here, is that you may not need what the claim ability is, but you don't want someone else to have it. Mm-hmm. So that might influence your decision, or you might say, I just am okay with taking the VP, even though the claim ability isn't as interesting to me.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call hate drafting.
I wouldn't say that. It's strategic drafting, sir.
Strategic drafting.
Strategery. And so, I'm not going to be a huge jerk, but I'm going to be a little bit of a jerk. I'm going to take one that lets me to gain 1 favor or 1 nature, because I need that favor to get me back in balance. And then it goes to Kevin, and I have a feeling I know which one he'll choose.
Oh, well, that's an easy choice. So, I will take the priest, gain 3 nature immediately, and to which I will do...
The musician, sorry guys.
And I will hand Mark his peasant.
I got another lovely peasant with a bunch of farming on his back. Another half point for me. Alright, we move to the wealthy village. Top 3 cards of the villager deck. And Kevin is dominating that village, followed by Kira, and I get another peasant, likely.
I am definitely lacking in the goals of this game.
Yeah. And you can see that the points, as we go through the point tracks, the points stay fairly close. And Kira's back at 4 right now, and Kevin's at 9, I'm at 10. But that's only because we've cashed in village tokens. As she cashed in a set of village tokens, she would be at 10 as well, so we would all be right neck and neck with one another. So not very huge point swings.
I'll pass it off to Mark, and I will pick the guard. Choose an opponent and a village. You and that opponent gain 1 village token of the chosen village. And I am going to pick Mark and the holy village.
Oh, yay, a 3rd holy village token that I don't need.
Him a redundant holy.
Nice. And Kira gets to choose 2nd from the villagers. And if it's a quick choice, then I'll know the other villager is a peasant.
Yep.
Well, for starters...
And this is why we angle
I'm
the camera at the board.
the Sensei, which has a very cool claim ability, which I will read to everybody here. Reveal the top card of any villager deck. You may resolve its claim ability or claim the card without resolving the claim ability. I am lacking a fishing village token, so I think I'm going to take...
Reveal the top card of the fishing village.
Which is to gain 1 favor, which isn't the worst thing in the world because I am short on favor right now. So I'm going to go ahead and take her claim ability,
All right, so
which means I put her back.
She goes back to the bottom of the deck.
And then I'll keep my sensei for his 2 VP.
That is lovely. And I get, hey, it's not a peasant. Noble, I can add a shrine to a hut in the village. Over in the wealthy village, there are no huts available, but she's worth 2 victory points at the end of the game, so I'm not terribly upset about that. We'll simply add her to my deck of cards. Over to our fishing village, where we hope there's not an elder for Kira to have, because the elder would grant her the token. Kevin has a chain of 3. Kira has a chain of 2, and I have a chain of 1.
I should have said that because he might have not thought about not taking the elder. And you are
No,
my
I'll look through and see
you're
if
my
there's.
enemy, sir.
I'm your enemy.
You're now my enemy.
Well, I'm going to take the peddler. You may exchange one village token for another village token of your choice.
Well, that definitely helps.
And I guess I will take... I'm the river. I own the sea, so I'll take a farming instead of a fishing.
That was actually a smart move. I mentioned the elder, but the peddler would have allowed her to complete a set as well.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
So thanks, Mark.
And
You're welcome.
there's... Yeah.
Why did you say peddler? I said elder.
And there are other reasons.
I'm going to take the hermit
It's my favorite.
Because I didn't
because he's
want
awesome and
He's
just
awesome.
super cool. Yeah, but he also
Super.
gives me 4 VP,
4
but I
VP.
have to remove a shrine from that village. And I'll remove the one that's in the hut at the base of the village.
Down
Hut.
there, yep.
Thank you.
So it costs her one of her shrines, but
4 VP?
4 VP at the end of the game is pretty good. Plus, if she's only got 4 shrines over here, counting the one she just got back. If you ever run out of shrines, you can't add shrines. You are limited on the number of shrines, so it does give her something extra to play. And I get the fisherman. The fisherman here allows me to add a shrine to a stilt house in the village, which is full, of course. Would let me complete a goal if I could, but the fisherman is worth 2 VP at the end of the game.
Because
So another 2
Mizuchi's there.
points.
Because Mizuchi's playing today, and
Mizuchi.
you don't get to go there.
No, you don't get to go to stilt houses when Mizuchi's in the game.
Oh,
She rules the stilt
You have
house.
to work hard for those, for sure.
All right, and finally, we are in our holy village where we have
standoff.
Kevin has a chain of 3, I have a chain of 3, and Kira gets to decide who gets first pick between Kevin and I.
Mark's winning. You've been giving the river the business.
Oh, I have been. But if Coco's still watching, I almost feel like I owe her to say Mark first. But no, go ahead. Kevin goes first. Yep.
Woohoo!
Nope. Sorry, I can't risk it. Got to even the odds.
Holy village.
And Coco is still watching.
I will be taking the musician. Gain 1 favor or 1 nature. And I will catch my favor up.
All right, I have an easy decision to make here. I am going to select the Yamabushi. Yamabushi allows me to add a shrine to a forest in the village, which I can't do. The forests are occupied. However, he's worth 2 victory points, and I will pass this to Kira.
Thank you. And I get my first peasant.
First peasant, which if that's your first one, is not worth any points right now.
Nope. That's
So.
okay because he's adorable and he's...
All right,
just the
so
sweetest little
we're going to
character.
now score favor nature tracks. Now that we've drafted villagers, Kira, you're lower of your 2.
So I go down from 11 on my nature to even out with favor and bring me to 9.
So 9 points for purple, which takes her to 13. Math is hard.
I will even back up at 6.
So Kevin's going to grab 6. 9 and 6 is 15. And I am sitting at 8 nature, 10 favor, so I'm going to score 8 points, taking me to 18. So again, not a far stretch. Kira, even though she's in last place, she's only 1 village token away from cashing in a token, which would put her in the lead if she's able to do that here. Everybody, we're going to tick this up to the 3rd year. We're now going to grab our 5th action cube.
She left.
We're going to grab our 5th action cube, so now have more action cubes to take. The board is going to rotate another quarter turn. First player marker is going to go to Kevin. Go ahead and advent tokens ready to go there. And our goal for this year is to control 4 different types of spaces. So there are 5 types of spaces in every village, which is probably something we should have pointed out at the start of the game. Five different spaces in every village. You have forests that give you 2 nature, fields that grant 2 favor. The temple gives you your choice of favor or nature, plus acts as the tiebreaker, as you've seen. Then we have stilt houses and huts, neither of which give you any immediate benefit, but they're really good for drafting the villagers because they're in the center. So we need, of those 5 spaces, we need to control 4 of the 5 in order to gain the village tokens for this round. And Kevin will start. Will take the first turn of the 3rd and final year of the game.
I will. I will start by removing Kira from my temple. I will then replace Kira there.
It's going to grant you favor or nature.
I'll go 1 on the favor. And then I will use my third to remove Kira again. Haha.
After I gave you the village,
I did, right?
I
That's
totally-
ruthless.
Coco, I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
I owe you better.
That is one heck of a change.
Then I will use my... Nope, can't do that.
That is a heck of a change.
I'm out of shrines. I have hit the point where I am
Oh!
out of shrines to disperse.
Snap! So why don't you use 1 to remove somebody's shrine?
I did. I
Well,
got all
you could
remove happy on
You
yours.
could use the remove ability to
keep
remove your
going.
own shrine, so
Yeah,
you have
that
1
too.
to place, because you still have 2 action cubes left. And you are currently in only 3 types of
That's
spaces
true.
in the
That's
village.
true. There we go. Good call.
Well,
I will
there is an open spot.
remove myself from here, and then I will place this. My Wellspring ability to choose 2, add a shrine to a field, forest, or still house. I only have 1, so I will add it
Yep.
to the forest, giving me 1, 2, 3,
4.
4 different types of spaces.
Nicely
Wealthy
done.
village.
For
and
the wealthy
don't forget your
village.
2 nature for that
And
forest.
too, thank you.
Hey, Tungy.
All right, now we have to dive in here and really do some work because I have 2 types of spaces and I need 4. So I think the first thing I'm going to do, because I've got this crisis going on where none of my shrines are chained together over here, I am going to use my basic remove and I'm going to get Kira out of the temple. Sorry, Kira. Because I want the temple, I believe. My Western Wind, now that I've removed, I have the ability to move a shrine in my current village to another village. So I think I'm going to do that as well. I'm going to move Kevin. And I want to move Kevin out of this stilt house. Not that he can't come right back with Mizuchi. I'm going to put him in a field, which will grant him 2 favor. But it gets him out of my way. And now I am in field and a hut. I'm going to add to the stilt house I just pulled Kevin out of. I am going to add to the temple, which is going to give me the 4 different spaces: temple, forest, hut, and river house or stilt house. That is the fishing village, so that gives me a fishing village token. I'm also going to grant. Let's see. I will take. I think I'm going to take 1 favor for going in the temple. And I have 2 cubes left here, and this is going to be fun because I am going to use my tornado now.
Oh my.
I like my tornado. Tornado, I can choose 3 adjacent shrines in the village. I can rearrange them any way that I see fit. And I won't be able to complete the goal again because I just did it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to rearrange these 3 shrines, and I'm going to simply pop them around this way and put Kevin back in the stilt house where he was probably going to go anyway. And give myself a nice chain of 3 where I had no chain. And we're over to Kira.
Okay. So I'm in the Holy Village. There are no spaces open in the Holy Village. I only have 1 fear to start the game. Let's see. So I think I probably want to start by... I'm in 2, 3 spaces, so it's important for me to start finding some new spaces to go dwell in. So I think I'll start by moving an opponent's shrine adjacent to one of my shrines to another village. And there's at least something open somewhere else. So I'm going to go ahead and move Kevin out of this stilt house into... Be nice.
Got a couple choices of huts.
I'm going to just give him a hut because there's really nothing else to do there. Block Mark from getting any longer of a chain in the process. That's going to give me a fear. I'm going to go ahead and add a shrine in my current village and gain another fear with Manifest. And then I'm going to remove... Let's see.
Holy Village token.
Oh, I'm there now. I
you
don't
have
have
hut,
to.
stilt house, forest, and temple.
on, let's
4 different
see.
spaces.
Let's see. I may not let me think about how I want to do this then, because, well, I've only got 3 fear. So I could replace the opponent's shrine in any village to gain a fear and set up for having 4 fear on my next turn. So I think I will do that, and I'm going to do that in a village where I need another space. And so I think the most appropriate village, let's see, I'm in 3 spaces in that village. I need a 4th space.
You're in 3. The wealthy.
I think I'm going to do it
Of course you are.
over here. Mark's taking up too much space in the forests, so we're going to move him out of there. That's going to give me 2 nature. And then I put myself somewhere else, right? I gave myself that.
Yes.
And then I have 1 left. And all I can do is remove in my current village at this point with this one, and I will do that. But I don't want to, I have to be careful here. So I'm really just going to look to break up a chain. And so I'm going to break up Mark's chain.
Well, that's nice. I have shrines now.
Now it goes back to Kevin, so we're going to rotate.
Rotate the board again. I'm going to pop this first player marker, rotates as well, so I'll be first player for this turn. And I have 2 shrines in the village. They're both in 1 type of space, so I've got some work to do if I'm going to try and get this goal. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to get Kevin out of this temple, so we're going to remove. Pop him out of the temple. And my Western Wind ability, first time I remove a shrine in the village, I can move a shrine in my current village to another village, so I'm going to move this shrine of Kevin's and break up this long chain he had of 6. So simply blow his shrine to the other village, away from me. Now, I am going to add, I'm going to add to the temple again. That's going to give me a favor or nature. I'm going to take nature. Not doing very well climbing these tracks this round, at least not so far. I have a field. I have a field and a temple. I need 2 more spaces, so I'm going to use my gust ability to remove a shrine in a forest or field, and we're going to pull Kira out of this forest, break up that chain a little bit. I'm going to add a shrine to that forest, getting 2 nature, and I will use my last add to this hut, giving me hut, field, temple, and forest. That is 4 different spaces and a wealthy village token.
Oh wait, I got my 4th fear, that's right.
And Kira is up to wreak havoc on us now.
So now I did gain my 4th fear, so I can use Torment right off the bat, and I can either do, again, replace an opponent shrine in any village to gain a fear, which I don't need fear, so I'm probably just going to go ahead and spend it. Or I could split up that 4 amongst Manifest and Frighten for the secondary ability of spending 2 to add a shrine in any village, or spending 2 to remove a shrine in any village, which I don't need right now. What I need is to replace 2 at once. I think that sounds super awesome, and spend 4 fear on that. And so I will do that. Well, let's see. Hold on a second. Let's think this through, because I'm in the fishing village, and I'm already in 1, 2, 3 spaces. So I really only need to add and remove 1 space in order to get what I want there, to get my token. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to remove Mark from the temple,
Of course.
and go into the temple, give myself a favor. I'll take my, oh wait,
Fishing village,
I'll
no.
just
How about you just
immediately
hand me the
turn
other
them
3? So we're going to cash in 4 village tokens, and we're going to give purple 6 points, jumping her to 19 and putting her in the lead.
what's up?
So from last to first in the blink of an eye. And you still have 3
Bring it.
actions to continue
Still
to
have
mess
3
us up.
actions. And I really want to see about getting another fishing, which I can't do this turn because I just did.
Correct.
But I could potentially get farming
Yes.
if I do this correctly. So farming is over in front of Kevin. I have 1, 2, 3 types of spaces there.
Oh no.
This is where I will use Torment. And I will spend all 4 of my fear to come over here and take Kevin out of the temple. That gives me what I need
Yep.
to get my token. And then the other one I'm going to replace is, I think it makes the most sense. to go here and give myself the best chance of having
More chaining.
control. And then I still have one thing to do.
Wow.
That was a heck of a turn, and I'm not done yet. So I can move an opponent's shrine adjacent to one of my shrines to another village, which is what I'm going to do, because I really want that fear, and I'm going to move Kevin over here.
All right.
Sweet, got my big chain back.
All right, Kevin.
Well,
Yes, but I didn't open up a still house, which was the most important.
I start my turn already controlling 4 different types. Oh no, wait, I did. You stole my
Yes,
hut. That's
yes.
right.
The important thing to point out is you're right. Kevin had 4 spaces until Kira took that action to remove him out from a hut. He already had the 4. However, he doesn't automatically get granted the village token, because in order to gain the village token, you actually have to take an action to complete the goal. So if you already start with it, you still have to do something to basically complete it again. Whether you're just going to remove a shrine and add it right back, or you're adding a shrine and completing the goal in a different way, you have to actually complete the goal on your turn.
Which I will take my first action and remove my own shrine from that stilt house. Then my second action, I'm going to use Flood, add a shrine to a stilt house in any village, and remove a shrine adjacent to that shrine to break up Kira's path.
Chain.
Then I will use my next action and final cube to place that there in the hut, giving me forest, hut, stilt house, and field, and a second farming token. And then I will... Who's agitating my dots over here? Oh, I don't have any. So I will
Agitating my dots.
play
Like that.
I like it.
this and remove Mark from... No, remove Kira from
Having a little lag.
that stilt house.
All right. Now the board is going to rotate. First player marker is going to rotate over to Kira so that she will be our first player. We still have 2 turns left, and I can tell because the blue advent token that's on the board is over here, and it's directly across the board from the red one that's on the table. So we know we still have 2 turns left before the end of the year. And Kira is going to be first player, taking her actions, and hopefully, Kevin and I hope, not gaining a fishing village token in another 6 points.
Right.
Okay. Having just a little bit of lag, so I'm going to give it a second before I start going to get started. Just so it catches up. I think we had a little bump in the internet. Give me just a second.
All right. Yeah, looks like the Facebook Live feed is lagging a little bit. Kickstarter looks good, but the Facebook Live feed is a little laggy, a little choppy. So we're gonna see if we can resolve that there. Luckily, like I said, look, Kickstarter seems okay. It seems to be just the Facebook Live feed that's choppy.
Well,
And a little-
it's, I think we just had my daughter start a lesson online for school, and I think she was on the same network as we are. We have multiple, so I just asked her to switch really quick. It's all good, and hopefully we'll see some of that bandwidth come back here in just a second, guys. Sorry about that. So we're at the beginning of my turn. That means I'm starting over with 5 actions. Now I need the fishing village again. I only have 1 fear. I have nowhere to go in the wealthy village. And so I need to make some moves here pretty quick. And it looks like Mark's going to be the one that gets the most moves made against him, unfortunately, because he's in all the spaces that I want. Specifically, the temple. So we're going to remove Mark from there. Bye, Mark.
Goodbye.
Then I'm going to manifest myself into the temple, gain a fear, and a favor. Why not? And then we're going to move an opponent's shrine adjacent to one of my shrines to another village to gain a fear. And we're going to move Mark into a still house. So it's more likely Kevin will remove him later.
That's nice.
It is nice. That's what I'm here for. And then I'm going to go ahead and So that puts me at 3. Fear. What do I want to do is the question. I am the first player. And this is about to end it, right?
There's two more turns.
Two more turns.
Yeah, well, you'll have one more turn.
I'll have one more turn. That's right. Okay. So I think that would put me in 4. So I'm just going to go ahead and place just for now and go. Boop. Hi.
That grabs 2 nature and a wealthy village.
So I'll take my wealthy village token.
And you get your 2 nature as well.
And then I have one more. And so I guess I just have to
remove.
move
Breaking up
Kevin.
a chain.
All right.
All right, we're over to Kevin.
My
in
first
holy
move
village.
will use Torrent.
Yeah, Thomas, we are hope that we did something to try and fix that. If you want to see, if you want to flip over to YouTube, our YouTube channel, we do have another view, and it seems to be streaming fine. We think it might be specific to Kickstarter. We're not seeing this across the board, so highly recommend if you're having trouble on your end, go check out our YouTube stream to see a different view and also maybe a better resolution. So, but we're hoping that it will fix itself soon on Kickstarter. Okay, sorry, Kevin, go ahead.
My first action, I will play Torrent, replace an opponent's shrine in a still house in any village. That opponent may add a shrine in that village. I am going to remove you from that still house and replace you there.
And place a shrine in that village.
And that gives me one, just reconfirming. There's 1, 2. Nope, I'm sorry. That's wrong. I just own a bunch of still houses. I got 3. I got a bunch of lakeside property. Never mind. But I broke up Kira's chain there. My next action will be to remove Kira from my temple over here. My third action will be to replace her in said temple, which gives me 1, 2, 3, and 4 types of board spaces
Holy village.
for a holy token.
And you also get 1 favor
And
and 1
one
nature.
Favor. And then my I will remove Mark. No, wait. No, and that's not going to gain me anything there. And I just done it over there already. So I will remove Mark from this forest. Then I will use my Wellspring ability to place 2. Actually, I could just use my 1 since I only have 1. And place that there for 2.
Alright.
Favor.
Now I really want this farming village token because that would give me a complete set of 4 if I can pull it off. And I'm currently only in 2 types of spaces, a field and a hut. So I need to figure out a way to get people out of my way so I can take their spaces. And I think the first thing I want to do is I'm going to use my Gust, which allows me to remove a shrine in a field or forest in any village. And I'm going to remove Kevin. Wait a minute. Yes. I'm going to remove Kevin from this, or no, this is, yeah, Kevin's over here. Remove Kevin from this forest. So, and with my Gust ability, since the first time I remove a shrine in any village, which I just did, I can move a shrine in my current village to any village, and I was kind of hoping there is a hut space way over there,
That's
so
the only open space.
I can take Kira and break up this chain. I'm going to put Kira in this hut. I could put her in this forest, but she'd gain 2 nature for that, and I don't want to give her any parting gifts. So we're going to do that. That was my first action. I still have 4 action cubes left to try to get into spaces. I have field hut. We're going to add to the forest to take 2 nature. That is 3 types of spaces now. And I believe I need a stilt house in order to do what I want to do.
I'm talking about my property.
Let's see here. Actually, I have a better idea. I'm going to use my Winds of Change ability. This allows me to move a shrine, move one of my shrines in my current village to another village. If I complete a goal in that way, I can gain any village token instead of the corresponding village token. So I'm going to take myself out of this hut, and I'm going to move over here to this forest in this village. That's going to get me 2 nature. And I now have a forest, a hut, a stilt house, and a field, which would give me the holy village token. And because of my ability, I can take any village token. I'm going to take the farming village and now cash in 4 tokens, a set of 4, for 6 points, bumping me to 24.
Nice.
And I still have 2 cubes left, and I think, in this case, I just want to wreak a little havoc here. And I'm going to use my tornado to rearrange these 3 cubes. I'm going to put Kevin, Kira, and myself so that I have a chain there. And give myself at least some kind of ability to hopefully get something decent. And we are over to Kira, who was our first player. So now we're going to rotate the board. And this will be, we'll rotate the first player over to Kevin. And this will be the last, each of us has 1 more turn now. This is the final turn for the final year.
Okay.
I really need some favor badly.
Yeah, you do.
I'm greatly unbalanced. I have 7 nature, which is awesome, but I only have 1 favor, which right now means I only get 1 point at the end of the year.
I am going to remove Mark from that forest. Second action to replace him in that forest, thus giving me a field, a stilt house, a hut, and a forest.
Fishing village.
Fishing village, cashing in all 4 for an immediate 6.
Takes him to 21.
And I just moved to a forest, so there's 2 more nature. Then I will remove who is sitting on my stuff. I will remove Kira from that stilt house. I will
Her stilt houses.
remove scanning the board. I will remove myself from I will remove myself from this. No, yeah, I want to stay there. No, that's good.
Decisions.
Yeah, right. I don't want to. I will remove myself from this stilt house, and then I will. And you. Then I will replace Kira in this stilt house, and you may add a shrine to that village.
Okay. I'll take it.
Taking the field. Makes sense. 2 favor. Alright. And now it is my turn. And I really need favor badly. I don't need a holy village token because I've got 2 of them already, having just cashed in. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my basic remove ability to remove Kevin out of this field. And that, my Western Wind passive ability, I removed his shrine. I get to move a shrine from my current village to any village. And I'm going to move myself out of this field, and I'm just going to move over here to this stilt house. I think that makes sense. I'm going to use... I should have done that differently. I should have removed someone from a field first. That's what I should have done, because then I could have thrown my shrine over. Okay, anyway, I'm going to... Actually, I can do it anyway. I'm going to use my Gust to remove a shrine from a field or forest in any village. And I'm going to pull Kevin out of this field.
Agitating my nuts.
I'm going to use my Winds of Change, which lets me move a shrine in my current village to another village. I'm going to blow this shrine out of this hut to this field, granting me 2 favor. I'm going to use an add ability to add to this field, granting 2 favor. And I'm going to use my final to simply add to this shrine, granting 2 more favor. So now I've gone from 1 favor to 7 favor. And balanced my tracks. So,
Nice.
not too bad. You're up, Kira.
Okay, so I'm in the farming village. You guys trying to mess with me, but I'll show you what's up. It's cool. I'm already in 4 spaces, so I just need to find myself placed in another one in order to boost up. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and manifest into a hut, giving myself a 4th fear.
Okay.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum is right, because
This
now
is
I'm going
not
to
good.
torment somebody
I know.
for messing with me.
I know, and if you're smart about it, I know where you'll torment.
Oh, I know exactly where I'm
Yeah.
going. So, fishing village, what's up? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 already, but I'm going to go ahead and come in and get another one, and I'm getting rid of you guys. I'm taking my spaces back. Thank you. And I'm going to start by doing it this way. How do I want to do this? Take my 2 and 2. I need some nature. So I came up there and I messed your day up.
And you are in 4 types of spaces in the fishing village,
Fishing
which
village.
gives you the fishing village token you need for 6 more points. So Kira takes the lead and jumps to 25 points.
And then I can move an opponent's shrine adjacent to one of my shrines. So that costs me all my fear. Now I can move an opponent's shrine to gain some fear back. So I'm gonna do that. Gain a fear. I'm gonna move Kevin from there, and I'm gonna place there.
Wow, that's a chain. That is a chain and a half you have there. All right.
Did I already get the farming village token in this one? Because I think
No,
I
you did
started
not.
up there. So,
You got
Wow.
this.
excuse me.
Wow.
I'll take that. Thank
Look
you.
at that. All right, and we're back over to Kevin, who was our first player, so the board's going to rotate once more. And our tokens are lined up, so we're at the end of the year. So now we are going to draft our villagers, starting with the farming village, which is on the far side of the board for me.
Obviously.
Kira has a gigantic chain of 6 shrines up there to my 2 and Kevin's 2. So she gets first pick of the villagers in the farming village, and then she gets to determine where the cards go from there because Kevin and I are tied.
Oh, this is fun. Alright. I'm going to take the Traveler
Ooh.
and gain myself a fishing village token. Thank you. And then I'm somewhat indifferent. So, I don't know. Kevin's been removing me a lot.
Ooh. Well,
Kind of done
oh,
with
this is
that.
an interesting... Well, still house.
Always like to gain fear, even if it means
Oh, it is
nothing
the
at
one
the end
I
of the
got.
game.
Sure.
I gotta
Yeah,
get
it's
that.
not going to do me any good to take this card because it wouldn't. The points are going to be the same either way. Would it do Kevin any good though? I think it would. It wouldn't matter. It didn't matter. So I'm going to take the artisan, which gives me 2 favor. I don't need 2 favor. She's worth 2 points at the end of the game. I'll take my 2 favor artisan, and I'm going to pass this card to Kevin.
I get the hunter. Add or replace a shrine in a field or forest in this village. You may complete a goal in this way.
Yep.
Add or replace a shrine in
Field or forest. I wanted to make sure I wasn't handing you another goal token.
add or replace a shrine.
And you'll get your 2 favor, which, like me, didn't do you any good.
And she is worth 2 VP at the end of the game.
Alright, so that was the farming village. We go to the wealthy village. We take 3 cards, and in the wealthy village we have Kira with 2, Kevin with 2, and me with 2. Kira is in the temple. So, again, she chooses, so she could say, I'm going to be nice and let one of you guys choose,
But that's not.
but that's not going to happen.
Well, no, but
No.
you know, Kevin, I'm gonna go ahead and let Kevin go next because he has multiple chains.
That is true.
So, like, if I just want to be a little bit more fair, I think.
Just let me go next because it's 2 peasants.
Because it's 2 peasants.
Because it's
2 peasants. Look at that.
Peasants.
That is classic.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Well
Oh,
played.
I'm sorry. I totally didn't show
That was
everybody. I got
well played.
the Traveler for 2 nature.
That is funny. Okay. We are going to go to the fishing village. Kira has a chain of 3. I have a chain of 3. And unfortunately for me, Kira is in the temple. So Kira gets the first pick again for the fishing village villagers.
Okay.
But this time she can't choose someone other than me because I am in second place.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. I wanted to figure out a way around it.
I know you did.
Okay. Well, I think I'll go ahead and take the Elder, who gives me a fishing village token.
And if you happen to
I'll
grab
take
one that lets you exchange, we're going to be in some trouble. Well, I guess I'm going to take this guy, add a shrine. This is a fisherman. Adding a shrine to a stilt house in the village is worth 2 VP. None of the stilt houses are open. So,
I get another peasant, which paired with the one Kira just gave me is another point.
peasants for Kevin. Peasants everywhere. And our final village for drafting is the Holy Village. We have 3 cards here. I have a chain of 3, and then it looks like Kevin with 2, and Kira has a chain of 1. So we're going to take a look here.
So they're going to make sure that I don't get...
I am going to take the priest, who gives me 3 nature and is worth 3 victory points at the end of the game. So this is something that, this is a card that really works for me because I currently have 2 more favor than I have nature, so this is going to bump me up.
Very nice
Kevin gets the
villager to
next
get in the Holy Village.
choice.
You've made the villagers of the Holy Village quite happy, it seems like.
Seems like it. I've made the villagers of the Holy Village quite happy by staying out of their village because I'm out on the outskirts of the field in the forest.
Yep, you're keeping it cool out there while
Keep
they're
your
working
distance.
and walking and...
Keep
I
your
will be
distance.
picking Yamabushi, who, while I cannot add a shrine to a forest in the Holy Village, I can get 2 VP instead of a half a point.
I get a peasant.
All right. So, favorite nature tracks. Kevin's our first player.
Drop down to 5.
Kevin's going to get 5 for Teal, which is going to put him at 26. I am sitting at 9 and 10, so 9 points for my favor. It's going to take me to 33 from 24. And then Kira has
8 and 7, so 7.
7 for purple, which is going to take her to 32. Now, the fun part, all end-game scoring. Now, when you're doing end-game scoring, the one thing I always try to remind people of is village tokens. To remember, obviously your villagers, you count up your...
Well, let's start with the village tokens then, since
We can
you
do village
brought it
tokens. We can do village tokens. So, Kevin, how many village tokens?
I got 2.
2. I have 3, so that's going to be 3 for white.
I'll turn 4 in.
Kira has a total of 4. And because they're not a set of 4, she doesn't get her 6 points for those. Now we can arrange villagers by points, which is usually how I do it because it's easier to count that way. And then we'll start with our first player, Kevin, who can give us his lovely total.
Well then, I have 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, and then 2 sets of peasants will give me 16 and 17.
17 going from 28 is going to be 35, and another 10 puts you at 45. Not bad. I have, over here, I have my priest for 3 points. I have 1 peasant that's not going to get me a point because he's by himself. He doesn't have a companion. This set of priests will take me to a total of 4 points. So that's 4. These are all 2-point villagers. So 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 in-game points, taking me from 36 to 56 and looping the track.
21.
And Kira has 21, taking her from 36 to 57.
Oh!
And that is it. We have Kira as our winner, a total of 57 points. I'm in second at 56, and Kevin came in at 45.
The gentleman's 45.
The gentleman's 45. So that is Kami-sama. I didn't see any questions come through there. It doesn't look like there's anything on the Q&A tab either.
There's one about German and...
Oh, yes, that's right. There was a question about someone had asked
Can you lift that?
being backed at the... they're backing at the German level and wanted to know what happens if we don't reach the 250 backers necessary to publish the game in German, what would happen. If that happens, we're confident it's going to happen. We're confident we're going to get those 250 backers for German as well as the 250 backers at the French level. And the answer I'm going to give for German also applies to the French level, the French pledges as well. If you're pledged at one of those levels, German or French, and we don't reach 250 backers, it's your choice as to what you want to do. We're going to offer the choice. Do you want an English language copy of the game, or do you just want us to refund your pledge? So we'll reach out to all of those folks at the end of the campaign. If we don't reach the 250, like I said, we're very confident we will. But if something happens, then we'll be reaching out to all of those folks and finding out what they want to do and how they want to proceed from there.
So things going on. So I believe that we have another stretch goal that just unlocked overnight.
Oh, look at that.
Jacan, right?
Yes. Jacan unlocked overnight. We sent out an update. No, we didn't.
No, we've got an update.
We've got an update pending, or getting ready to go out. It hasn't been sent yet because there's another piece that I need to grab. But we did announce in the comments, for those that saw the comments in the Kickstarter page, and if not, I'll announce it here. We are doing now that Jacan is unlocked. He's the Kami of Travel. And unfortunately for Jacan in his travels, he lost the names to all of his abilities. So we need your help to name his abilities. So if you head over to Board Game Geek, there to the Kami-sama page on Board Game Geek, I don't know, Kira, if you have the link to Board Game Geek for Kami-sama, if you want to throw it into the comments here. It is in the basic comments. If you go to the comments on the Kickstarter campaign page, I tossed a link in there this morning. It is up on Board Game Geek, but in the forums for Board Game Geek, there is a thread going where you can name Jacan's abilities. Right now, for the next 3 days, we're going to take suggestions from the backers, from fans of the game. Drop your suggestions in that thread for names of his abilities. We are, after the 3 days are up, we're going to pick our favorites, throw them into a poll, and let you guys vote on which ones make the cut, which ones make it into the game. Jacan has 4 abilities, like all the Kami do. He has a passive ability, he has 2 1-cost abilities, and he has a 2-cost ability. So you'll be able to name those. It's up to you how you want to throw those in the thread. If you just want to throw a bunch of names in there and let us kind of pick where they fall, that's fine. If you want to specifically say, hey, I think this would be a great name for his passive ability, this would be a great name for the 2-cost ability, you can do that as well. We'll group them all together, and we'll do the voting out there.
So Vaughn is at, hi Vaughn. He's asking what he looks like. If you go to our campaign page right now, which you should be on if you're watching, and you scroll down, you'll be able to see his unlocked form.
Yep.
And he's also in the Board Game Geek. Well, he'll be in the update we send out, and we'll make sure that we have a display for him as well for you guys to see. And then outside of the contest, we're about $500 away, $600 away from unlocking our next stretch goal, which was...
Next stretch goal is we're adding 2 cards to the Kitsune deck. Kitsune is the AI deck that's used in the 2-player version of the game. So just a couple new ways for that mischievous little fox to start wreaking havoc as she's throwing your plans out the window.
Right.
So they give her a couple more options, make that deck a little bit more, kind of add to the replay value of the deck, and again, more things that could potentially happen in the 2-player game. Those will unlock here at about $600, and then after that, we'll unlock a new goal card as the stretch goal after that. We'll just add a new goal to the deck, which again just switches those goals up, adds some additional replay value to the game by having another goal that could potentially come out in years 2 and 3.
And then as far as what's going on right now out there in the world, we've got 2 conventions this weekend we've got people at with Kami-sama. So if you're in the area, make sure that you... asleep since I had the page open from last night. Oh, that explains it.
Yes.
He was looking at the silhouette version. So now he's awakened. Someone has rung the bell to awaken the spirit of Jacan, and you can see him in all his glory. So we do have 2 conventions happening this weekend. We have VisionCon, I believe, starts today.
VisionCon starts today.
And we've got AJ, the designer of Kami-sama, is there. That's near his hometown. He's there to show off the game and talk to everyone about all the amazing stuff he's working on and play with you. So if you're at VisionCon, please be sure to get with him. You want to tell everybody what Travis is up to?
Yep, and at VisionCon there in Missouri, I believe AJ actually has 3 scheduled times that he's doing demos. One today, one tomorrow, and one on Sunday.
And we'll make sure that's in the next update.
So we'll have those there so you can be sure if you're at VisionCon in Missouri, stop by, say hi to AJ, play around to Kami-sama yourself. Travis is in Orlando, the Orlando area, down at Epicon, which is a big prototyping convention that game designers, game developers go to there. So if you happen to be at Epicon, if you're a designer, developer yourself that's down there taking a look at prototypes, or maybe you're down there as a designer pitching a prototype, You know, Travis also has a copy of Kami-sama with him. He is teaching and showing it down there. I know he's got a couple of people that are stopping by to take a look while he's down there for some media things for us. So if you happen to be at Epicon down in the Orlando area, stop by, find Travis, and play Kami-sama down in Florida, where it's a little bit warmer than it is here in Indiana right now.
Yeah, we have had some very strange weather. It got really nice and warm, and we were all wearing shorts, and then it got back to being really cold and rainy and gross again. So, outside of that, we've got all your help on Board Game Geek and keeping the images. Looking for the new images, make sure you hit the subscribe button over on Board Game Geek so you're seeing all those new images as they pop up. Your engagement on those helps keep them on the website where people can see them and help gain more interest in Kami-sama. So please be sure that you've hit the subscribe button, not just the fan button over there, so you can keep up to date on all our latest stuff. And then I feel like there's one other thing we wanted to let everybody know, and it's escaping me at the moment, but...
Well, I would say definitely share the, if you've not done so already, share the campaign page wherever you feel, wherever you can. Post to Facebook, Twitter. Just get that out there. Share it with friends and family. Let them jump in if you liked what you saw here. If you haven't backed yet, you were on the fence. Hopefully, this playthrough helped answer some of the questions that you may have had about the way the game plays. And we'd love to see you pop up on the backer list as well.
So we have on our YouTube channel, we have the how to play. We have a 2 and 3 player review of the variants here. The 3 player you saw today. Rado's video is 2 player.
Yes,
right?
Rado has 2 player.
Who else? Do we have anybody else that did the 2 player?
Not that did the 2 player. Man vs. Meeple did a video for us, which is on the main campaign page, but it was in the content. It was more of a preview. They had a great conversation with AJ, the designer, and Travis on their development work. So there's a great kind of conversation with them talking about the game. So if you've not watched that, definitely do that.
So I guess you tell us what you'd like to see next. So do you want to see the 2 player again? I know you saw it with Rado. But would you like to see Kolossal play the 2 player variant for you? Would you like to see the full 4 player game? Let us know which one is next for you guys and how you felt about the time of day. We can do this again next week or whatever works, but please let us know in the comments on the page if you have any preferences to either. Otherwise we'll just pick one and go with it if we don't hear anything. But we really appreciate everybody tuning in and sharing everything that's wonderful about this beautiful game. And we hope to see you again very soon.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right. So now you're gonna have to watch us fumble through shutting down. So bear with us.
You can hit
so
on that
I think
computer over there. You mouse over. You'll have to mouse over because it'll pop up a go off air button.
Go off air.
Down at the very bottom. Bye, everybody.
There you go. And I have to do it on YouTube too. So.